think we're live. Let's see. Comments. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let me know if one, you can see us, and two, if you can hear me right now speaking.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Let us know in the comments. I think the comments are a little behind. Oh, 1 and 2.
Perfect. Thanks. Power spin.
Power spin in 2.
Power spy.
Power spy in 2.
Nice. Thank you, sir. Or man. All right. So.
And hello, Deborah. She says, hello, Rebecca. I'm excited about this opportunity to ask you questions about your pregnancy. I have so many questions. We are traditional women need to share our joy of being pregnant and mothers. Wow, we already have 25 people in here. Salute to you, sir. Good evening. Hello, watching from Texas. Yes, let us know where you're watching from, where you are right now. We'll shout some of you guys out. You guys have a special treat here. My husband doesn't show up on my channel ever.
Because I'm usually working.
So let us know. I put it on. I made this so that it wasn't okay. See how it all pops up now?
Perfect.
We're on slow. Hello, Rebecca and James watching from London, England. Hello. Nicole watching from Ohio. Oh, let's see. Zirmar Films, hello from San Diego. Nexus Light, hello from Oregon. Watching from Nepal.
Viva Nepal.
Whoa.
Yo, anybody ever seen that movie Golden Child where he was like, Viva Nepal?
Nepal? Wow. That's Colorado. Cool. We got Australia, Chi-Town. Wow. ATL, Florida, Rhode Island. Is your husband high?
On the contrary, I don't smoke or drink at all. But I think these are everlasting effects from
drugs and alcohol.
What's up, Black Jew? Shalom.
Shalom. Guru, yes, I made you a mod. Please monitor the chat. We already got some questionable comments here. What's up, Black Jew? Yo, DJs on Romania, South Africa, El Paso, Texas. Hi, guys. First time here. Hi, Snow Tigress from Cali. Wow, we got 46 people here already.
Awesome. Let's get right into those questions, huh?
Yes. Oh, by the way, we are going to be doing an hour and a half if time permits. So make sure to send us your questions. My husband's on a time restraint right now.
Yeah, I have somewhere to be this evening. So
yeah. So hello from Mars. Awesome. Okay. So
real quick, I haven't seen any of these questions. If I'm gonna try to answer as many questions as possible that I feel comfortable answering. If I get one that is a little hard, I might say pass, or we'll table that one and come back to it later or something.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the biggest questions, I guess people want to hear how we met from your account.
Sure. That's easy. All right. So I was living in New York. I was volunteering with this program called Big Vision NYC. If you're from New York City, definitely give them a check them out. So I was volunteering with this not-for-profit Big Vision NYC. They do clean and sober events for young adults ages 18 through 35. So we were throwing a Halloween party. I had got there a little early to set up. I had to go and meet with the owner of the space, basically to let him know, hey, we're here, about to start setting up, yada, yada, yada. As I'm waiting for that to happen, they were like, oh, he's in a meeting with somebody right now. And he comes out with my now wife, right? She had a shaved head. She was bald. some of y'all seen that video. But she was pretty. She was pretty with a bald head. I don't see many chicks with bald head that are attractive. But I seen it, and I tapped my homie on the shoulder. I said, "Yo, that's gonna be my wife." That's the first thing I said. And he was like, "Yeah, all right." But I was like, "Yo, that's gonna be my wife, bro. I promise you. Watch." And that's how I met my wife, man. You know, we talked for a bit. We did like a sound meditation. She stayed for the party, exchanged it from. She took my number. I didn't take her number. And then, and, you know, here we are, 3 years later, married and pregnant, living in Florida.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
We have already a couple questions. This one's a good one. I'm gonna show it here. It says, "Hey guys, I'm getting married soon. Hi, Haley Angel. I'm getting married soon, and we have a cat fur baby. Any advice on how marriage can be less scary to newlyweds?" Do you have any thoughts on that, babe?
I think, and people like I make this analogy often, right? And some people agree, some people disagree. But if you look at when someone is in the military, right, and they go to basic training, right? In this case, I would say premarital counseling, right? When you go to basic training, no matter how much training you get, until you actually go to war, that's when you're really going to figure out what war is like. Hopefully, you've equipped yourself with some tools that you can use once you get there, right? So with that, I don't know, Haley, I don't know what, I don't remember, but if you're not, you know, my encouragement, one, is to do premarital counseling. Not to say that you're going to have a ton of issues or whatever the case may be, but it kind of gives you a foundation, right? But it's going to be a new experience, right? It's like a roller coaster. There's like this Wale album where he's talking with Jerry Seinfeld, and he's like, it's something new, right? It's a new experience. You've never experienced it before, right? So some fear is healthy, but I wouldn't be living in the fear. Just know that you're about to be presented with new opportunities. You're going to be presented with opportunities for growth, right? And just know that it's going to be an experience, right? That you get ready for. I can't really say whether or not, you know, not to be scared, right? There's definitely fear, right? But it's how you use that fear to your advantage.
Look at that. Thank you, Raymond, for the $2. We appreciate you.
Yo.
What's up? Grateful Apparel shout out.
That was for product placement. Yeah, I saw a question. What was your experience with your wife on the Fresh and Fit?
Yeah, we'll show it here.
What was your experience bringing your wife on the Fresh and Fit? I was a little nervous, right? I was a little nervous at first, only because I've seen the behavior of some of the women that are on that show, right? And I was more nervous that my wife would receive backlash for her morals and values. They tend to contradict with a lot of modern women, right? So I was more afraid of the pushback that she would receive from them. As far as the experience overall, I know that there's been some controversy and some questionable behaviors. I'm not really going to get into all that. That's not really my business. Overall, though, and I'm not going to say whether at the time of going to Fresh and Fit, all that stuff hadn't been publicized yet, right? I will say that I personally did not have a bad experience with them. I'm not going to say that other people haven't had a bad experience with them. I will not say that. My personal experience was they were respectful to me. They were respectful to my wife. We shook hands. We looked each other in the eye when we shook hands, right? It was it was pleasant, right? So that was my experience with my wife going Fresh and Fit.
That was good. So going back to premarital counseling, did that help you set up expectations going into marriage, or is marriage different than what you expected? And if it is, how so?
So expectations are premeditated resentments, right? That's a nugget that you can put in your back pocket. Whenever you have any type of expectations, right, you're setting yourself up to have a resentment later, right? Because no one's going to meet all of your expectations. I never had any example of what marriage looked like, right? I had ideas of what I thought marriage would look like and how it's supposed to be. I've seen it in movies, I've seen it on TV shows, and but as far as expectations, I didn't really know what to expect going into marriage. So that was a question, right? If I had
Yeah.
expectations, and has it been that? So to answer, no expectations. So there was nothing to. Yeah, that's it.
Do you think that after going through premarital counseling that you feel that you were equipped to handle a lot of the things that we went through? Because for a lot of you maybe who don't know, I lost my dad this year, and that was hard for both of us, right? Like,
Yeah.
do you feel like premarital counseling and the tools that we learned really helped you, and like you could apply those things?
I think it was a combination of things, right? So, for those of you who don't know, my man made the joke earlier about me being high, right? But and I said, oh, it's the after effects of all the drugs and alcohol that I did do initially. But so I have a couple of outlets, right? And I have a couple of things that help me with my life, right? First off, I go to church, or I'm in the church, I'm in the Word, right? I had a premarital counselor, and I also go to meetings, right? So between those three avenues, it kind of equipped me for life on life's terms, right? Life happens, and life happens sometimes very unexpectedly, right? When we got married, we didn't expect to have to go through death friggin' 2 months later,
Yeah.
right? So we get married, it's all joyous, and then boom, right? Pops, passes away. Now I had an opportunity to step up as a husband, to be there emotionally for my wife, and step up in other areas, whether it's financial, whatever the case may be, right? So uh, premarital did help, along with some of the other avenues that I use.
That was good, man. Okay, we have some super chats. Let's bring up Haley's Angel. Thanks, guys, and congrats on the baby. And a bit of advice. Have him do the diapers. You're gonna do diapers?
Yeah.
That's true love, when you can clean someone's butt willingly. Very true. And our daughter deserves that. And then thank you, Gail Nelson, for $5. Honesty can save a lot of heartache and miscommunication in the long run. Say the things that hurt, say the things that scare you. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So I try to practice principles in my day to day, right? And I always tell this story. When I met my wife, and we were dating, right? I called my sponsor, or my mentor, and I'm like, yo, bro, I met this chick, I like her. What should I do? He was like, you gotta be honest. You gotta be honest. He's deaf, so he yells a lot. I'm not gonna yell for the sake of for you. But he was like, you gotta be honest with her, man. Just tell her what's up. So I was like, hey, Rebecca, I like you a lot, but I'm an ex-crackhead. I live in a shelter and I don't have a job. I think I might have been too honest. And then she called me like a day later, like, it doesn't matter what my friends think about you.
Yeah, it's so funny that so hold on. We got a few. We're gonna answer some of your questions here because there's a lot. But when you hear these gurus say, right, what makes an alpha male or what makes a masculine male, right? Clearly the situation that we were in when we first met wasn't quote unquote ideal for a lot of people, right?
All right, so let me tread carefully with this question here.
But do you know where I'm going with that?
Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Ask the question.
So I'm saying it's like, would you agree with a lot of the things that they say about what an alpha male is, like the characteristics, like having influence, all that stuff? Like, do you consider yourself an alpha male? Like, you know, or do you define that differently, or what's your definition of masculinity? And because we clearly have a different story to get to marriage than what people think that we do, right? People think that he's like a billionaire or something. Like,
no one thinks that, by the way. No one thinks that. So here's the thing, right? I was taught that men are protectors and providers for their family, right? Am I protecting my family? Am I providing for my family, right? Yes. Alpha male, beta male, sigma male, kappa male, all that Greek alphabet stuff. This is just me, right? I don't go around just, I wouldn't classify myself an alpha male, beta male, sigma male. I don't do that, right? My wife, if she wants to label me an alpha male, beta male, whatever, right? Because I might be an alpha male with beta tendencies, right? So like you can, right? You can, according to these gurus, right? You can be a top percent earner. You can be physically fit. You could be very handsome. You could have all the game you think you have, right? But at the end of the day, you're still a bozo, right? A lot of these dudes, and I'm not saying anything about anybody, but a lot of these dudes have tangible things or materialistic things that give the appearance that they're cool, when really, when you're on a one-on-one conversation with them, they're bozos, right? So like I deal, like for work, for example, I'm in sales, so I deal with many different demographics of people, different, very higher,
high net worth
earning levels, right? And there are dudes with a lot of money that are still bozos, right? So I don't classify myself as, alpha, beta, sigma, kappa. I'm gonna pull up the Greek alphabet. I'm not any of those, right? I'm a man, right? And I'm trying to take care of my family at the end of the day. That's really what it's about.
And you're doing a good job.
Thanks. You're doing a good job.
Thank you so much, Rudy, for the $10.
What did he say?
Rudy, I'm reading it.
Oh.
It says, started using alcohol and coke at 12, quit completely at 22. I always consider myself in recovery, happy with life, and married now, but I still miss the smell. Anything you missed from that time in your life?
Yo, the disease of addiction is so cunning and baffling, right? It'll have me remember the fun parts of getting high, right? It'll be like, yo, remember when you used to be in the bar and doing your thing, or you used to be in the club doing your thing, right? But I remind myself of the consequences of all those good times, right? So to answer your question, no, there's nothing that I miss, right? I don't miss it at all. Not to say that that the thoughts completely go away, right? Sometimes I'll drive through certain neighborhoods, or I'll see something and it'll trigger a quick thought, and I gotta really snap back into reality and just remind myself that, that ain't it. So.
That's good, babe. That's true.
Yeah.
Brandon Walker says, is there anything wrong with wanting a girl for both looks and heart?
Absolutely not.
Right? I feel like that's pretty...
Right? I feel like you should definitely be attracted to the person that you're with. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? Nah, there's nothing wrong with that, buddy.
Allie says, do you find Jesus individually or together?
So there's this triangle, right? And as my man would say, I'm not throwing up the Illuminati or anything like that, right? But there's this triangle, right? And God is at the head of the triangle. Rebecca and I are at the base. The more we focus on our individual journey to Christ, is where we all meet in the center, right? So we each have to have our individual relationship
Mm-hmm.
with God. And the more we pursue our individual relationship with God, the closer that'll bring us together. Um,
I agree. That's the
so
same. That's the same way that I feel. Is yes, we do fellowship together. Like we do marriage group that is together, and that's very biblical based. And but we also have our individual relationship and time with God. But like, you know, fellowshipping with other Christians and other things like that. Like
yeah, my man just started a marriage group thread the other day. It's me and my wife and him and his wife.
Yeah, we can add people. Grateful, what do you think?
Nah, for real, right? And it's just like, you know, it's not to always talk about how it's not for when we're fighting only, right? It's to throw in marriage jokes, to have conversation, right? Just, you know,
it's good.
It's good.
Gail, thank you for the $5. Whoever you are is who you attract. Do you think men wanting an ideal woman should look in the mirror and be an ideal man?
Yo, I got the ideal woman without being an ideal man, right? I was I was homeless living in a church, okay, in a church basement. So I'm like the exception, right? But I will say this. I prayed first, right? Because sometimes I be skimming through my wife's comments, and some of you dudes are really, really mean, man. I just gotta say that. Luckily, my wife's got a strong backbone, but yo, come on, man, for real. Y'all be wilding in the comments, dude. Like women almost, the way you personal attacks. But anyway, so so I had prayed, right? And I shared this with my wife. I'll say it again. When I met I was dealing with a bunch of different women at the time, right? Mm-hmm. And I asked God, I said, yo, God, listen, I'm not looking for a girl. I'm not looking for a wife. I need female companionship, right? I just need somebody that's going to accept me where I'm at and that we could do life together, right? And then I decided to cut all those women off. And then it was like almost instantaneously, I met Rebecca a week later, and it was like something that I knew. My encouragement to men, though, right, Gail, to let me answer your question. I think men, right, if you're going to be a leader, right, you have to be worthy of leading, right? So I don't know what an ideal man is. Only you know, I don't like those words, ideal or like, not to say that it's a bad word or anything, Gail, but I think the main thing would be is if you want to be the leader of your household, if you want to be the leader of your family, if that's the role that you want to take, you have to make sure that you're worthy of following, mm-hmm. right? Which I guess would be kind of answering your question. So,
and I think too, like when I met James, I like to say like we were babies. Like we weren't babies. We were like 29 years old, but like emotionally, spiritually, everything, we were babies. And so it took a lot of molding and shaping together to get us to the place where it's like I've taken my role as a wife and he's taken his role as a husband. And for me to submit to him, because at first it was a lot of like back and forth, and you can attest to that too.
She was going back and forth with herself because I don't argue.
Yeah, he doesn't argue.
I don't argue.
He doesn't argue.
I don't raise my voice
at all.
Sometimes she be catching Tourette. She be like, And I'd be like, let me know when you're done, right? Let me know when you're done, and we'll have a conversation like adults, okay?
Oh, that's funny.
But I don't argue.
No.
My mother taught me very young that men don't argue with women.
Mhm.
She didn't use those exact words,
But you can make it.
but she said that men don't argue with women, and that's one thing that I did take from my mother. So I don't argue with women at all.
Thank you, J. Joe 44. I can't spell or read anything. Can y'all react to why toxic masculinity is good by the business YouTube channel? It's a 3-hour long, but worth it. I can try.
She'll do that.
Yeah.
I
He doesn't really like to.
I gotta work.
Yeah, he has to work. Thank you, Luis, for the $4.99 super sticker. Hold on, I got another one here. Nasir okay, I'm butchering that. Nasir, thank you for the 100 SAR.
Yeah. That's...
And then we got one more, and then I'll go back up to the comments because we're getting so many. Okay. Oh, same one. So thank you, Nasir. Thank you very much for
Nasir Al
you say it.
Walem.
You say
I think that's how you say
that
it.
That was good, babe.
Thank you very much for both of you in educating and promoting marriage and a proper nuclear family and building a strong foundation for our children to change the world for our grandchildren. May Lord Almighty bless you. Thank you, brother.
I think you go by Nas on Instagram. Okay, let's go up because we have a lot that we missed here, babe. What? Should we answer that? Do you see any?
I mean, I thought you had moderators. I don't know how any of this works. I'm just here to answer questions. What does that say? Dr. Peter says something interesting. You are what you attract. A lot of men have been hurt by their choices, choosing the wrong woman. I agree. A lot of these dudes are butt hurt.
Okay, let's see.
Why don't you read some of the questions you already have and then let the moderators do whatever it is that they're doing?
Well, they're moderating the chat for not having bad things.
Gotcha.
What's the most important? Premarital Jones? Premarital Jones? What's the most important thing that comes first, working on your physique or work on your finances?
I don't go to the gym, man, so there's your answer. I used to go to the gym. I mean, I try to be healthy, but I think most importantly is having your habits strong, right? Mm-hmm. I think most importantly is forming good habits. When you form good habits, whatever you enjoy, right? I don't know if you got a gym in your house, but things cost. I think it's super important to have your finances in order, right? Because I'm gonna say finances because I don't go to the gym. I can't answer that question, bro, because I don't go to the gym, bro. But
he's like a superhuman. Like he has some like alien genes or something.
It's genetics.
Yeah. He doesn't go for the gym for like 2 months and then goes back in the gym and he has like a not swollen, but it's like swole arms.
Yeah, I just naturally have a decent physique.
Yes. Madeline says, how did both of you transition as you started to get back on your feet and Rebecca could start taking a seat on the passenger side of you, if that makes sense?
All right. So when I met Rebecca, she was making a lot more money than me. I didn't know this right away. She was like undercover princess, right? We were going to like eat at McDonald's and going on walks for hours. I didn't know that she had I knew she had a business, but I didn't know how successful or unsuccessful it was. I need to see the question again?
Sorry. It said, how did you transition?
So how did I transition? So when I started considering marriage, right? And I was speaking to my pastors and my mentors and my sponsors and stuff like that about things that I was doing. That's when I really started being educated and like given some advice of like, yo, being a husband is cool, right?
Hmm.
But this is what being a husband looks like, right? This is really what, it's not all like rainbows and flowers. It's like it gets nitty gritty. Like you're gonna have to do things, and nobody says thank you sometimes. You know what I mean? So when we came down to Florida, it was really just a matter of me getting to work, right? And even though I struggle with drugs and alcohol, I've always worked,
Hmm.
right? So I've always been, I wouldn't say a high earner, but I've always been an earner, right? I just never saved my money. Like, I go to work, get paid, it goes to the drug dealer, right? So now I was at a point where I was able to earn my income and really make it work for me, So after a point, it got to a point where I was like, yo, babe, you can do whatever it is that you want to do, right? And then I like she as we grew into who we are becoming, as we started growing, right? It wasn't really of her taking a back seat, because I don't think that my wife takes a back seat in anything that happens here, but it was really a matter of like, I was able to fulfill my role as like a traditional husband and be like, hey babe, this is what we're gonna do. I always ask my wife her opinion,
Hmm.
right? I always ask my wife, listen, this is what I'm thinking about doing. This is what I want to do. What do you think about this? Right? Prime example would be we were in Fort Lauderdale. Now we're more north, we're Orlando area, right? And an opportunity came up for me here. We were in Fort Lauderdale, and I say, yo, babe, I think that we should go to Orlando. And we weighed the pros and cons of that together. And then she said, babe, whatever it is that you want to do, that's what we'll do. Right? There was no pushback. Now, if there was some pushback, I would have definitely taken her feelings into consideration, right? I would have reevaluated everything and see if it was really something that was worth doing. But ultimately, she was like, listen, whatever it is that you want to do, like, I'm down for it. Right? And I took charge. I made the move. We found the place together, but I
Hmm.
decided I was the one that was like, yo, this is where we're gonna live.
Yeah, that
Right.
was very clear.
Yeah, right. This is where we're gonna live, and
Mhm.
this is how it's gonna be. Right. So
Yeah, I would say, and I think too, we not only reach out to counsel in these times too, like it's not that we don't make decisions by ourselves, obviously we do, but it's good to have like a sounding board that has been there and has like stood the test of time with us, right? And then also we prayed about it. Like I think that was the first thing we did,
correct.
was we prayed about it and we said, okay, like if we're supposed to be here, like please open the doors, like God, please open the doors for us to be here. And like literally to get where we are here, like it was the easiest transition we've ever made. It was seamless. And so we knew, we're like, wow, that's our apartment, that's our place, like, and we just see like an opportunity, you know, for growth. Okay, we got super chat. Those have been soy greetings from Switzerland. Thank you. We appreciate that. That means may God bless you in Portuguese. Thank
Muito
you.
bom.
That's all he knows.
That's
Muito bom.
muito bom. That's all I know in Portuguese.
But he actually, it's funny because like he knows Portuguese now. Like he can hear people
Yeah, when
speak
her mom
Portuguese.
is talking crap, Sonia, watching.
She watches. She watches. Yeah, she doesn't talk crap. She loves you kids. So one of my questions is, how do we handle disagreements? Because someone was also putting up here like, oh, how do you so you let the woman walk all over you if you don't argue. I don't think he understood.
Mr. Is that Miss? So you let the woman walk all over you
No,
if you
he's saying that I walk. Yes, if I'm arguing with you, I'm
yeah.
essentially walking all over you.
No.
Yeah, because he makes me feel.
No. That's not how that works. She ultimately walks all over herself when she starts arguing. Um, but I don't argue, bro. Like I don't. When I say I don't argue, I mean that I don't raise my voice. I don't yell. I don't do those things, right? Um,
So then, how do we handle disagreements?
so, but when we handle disagreements, it depends, right? For the most part, uh, we have this thing where we're like, listen, right now is not the time for us to have this conversation, right? We could talk about this tomorrow. We could talk about this in about an hour. Let me take a shower. Let me cool out, right? But I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you, right? Because when two people are arguing, no one's listening,
Hmm.
right? No one's listening. Everyone's waiting to respond. No one's hearing what the other person is saying. So when she's having her Tourette's moments or whatever it is that she's having, I allow her that. I respect her right to Tourette, right? And when she comes back down to reality and she's sane again, then we can have a conversation. But I don't let my wife walk all over. I don't let anybody walk all over me, bro.
And I think it's funny too because we use a lot of humor. So like when I can remember that time when we were in the car. So I am such a backseat driver. I will attest. Like I'm putting it out here on the internet, right? And so when I have like my Tourette's moment, like it's like
Turn left, turn right, back up, slow down.
he makes
I do that.
he starts doing that when I start bugging out, and so it creates a sense of like
So it's not healthy for the baby.
it's
It's not healthy for you.
it makes
You
it
sound crazy.
it makes it so that we just introduce humor into the conversation, and instead I'm not like butthurt about it. I'm more of like, okay, well that was funny, right? So I
Yeah.
think we introduce humor, or when he's having, because if he's in a bad mood or he comes in, whatever, I'll just like start dancing or whatever. Like we just do like stupid things to make the mood a little bit lighter, so that we're not like literally at each other's throats. But I don't think that we haven't had one of those arguments in a very long time, because I also have learned in my, like, correct me if I'm wrong, I've also learned that like it's that I'm the one that initiates a lot of the problems.
I'm very non-confrontational. I'm super laid back and easygoing. Um,
He is.
so
It's sometimes it's infuriating, but it's because we balance each other out. Like I'm very high strung and
man, mellow.
he's mellow. So okay, we have Candy. Thank you, Candy. I'm gonna pull up your super chat. Okay. Um, Thank you, Candy, for the 1999. I have a question for your husband. How do you get a guy to see your value and want to marry you? I really struggle with submissiveness, but I'm trying to be less combative and more peaceful, but I'm failing miserably.
All right. Well, I think that's a two-part question, right?
Mhm.
You can't make your husband find your value, right? He has to determine for himself that you bring him value,
Mhm.
right? But when you wildin' and like I didn't pick my wife because I'm like, oh, she's submissive. This is the one. Like I didn't even know that that's what I was looking for,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I'm not one of those. I'm not a red pill guy. I'm not a blue. I'm not none of that. I'm none of that. I don't subscribe to any of that stuff,
Mhm.
me personally. I just know that I want to be around someone who's pleasant to be around, right? So the more pleasant you are around your boyfriend, right, the more likely he's going to want to be around you more, right?
I agree to that 100%.
But you can't make him see your value. He has to decide for himself that you add value to his life and he wants to keep you around. So hopefully that answers your question. But there's nothing you can do. Like, you can't, it doesn't matter how many backflips you do, how many cartwheels, how many dishes you wash, how many times you wash his clothes, right? He has to see it for himself.
And you said this to me, and I've said this on my channel before too, where it's like men know almost immediately.
Not all.
Not all.
Not all. Not all men are like that, right? Because I don't want to discredit anybody who may be watching, or because everyone has a different situation, right? Now, a lot of men that I know or that I've met in my, in my travels, a lot of them say like, yo, I knew right away that I was going to marry my wife. Like, I knew it right away. It was just a matter of maybe they wanted to, some of them waited a little bit longer because they wanted to get their finances in order, or, they were going through some other stuff with life, but they knew right away that they wanted to marry their wife. So I don't want to say, because I don't want to scare anyone and be like, well, he doesn't know right away. Right? Or why is it taking so long? Right? I don't want that to be the result of my comment. Right? So I got to add that disclaimer.
But generally speak, like
I don't even want to speak in generalities. Okay. I'm not doing that. I knew right away. Men that I know knew right away. Other men talk about how they knew right away. But not all men know right away.
Not all men, not all women. Gail, thank you for the $5. You guys should do a Zoom session with couples. What do you think about that?
I'm no relationship guru. I'm still trying to figure this out myself, man.
Me neither. I'm not a relationship guru. Thank you, Nasir. Again, well said. Talking whilst in a good mood is always wise, correct approach. And as you said, taking it well, using humor is the best dealing with things. And one of the secrets, I'm so sorry.
Well said. Talking whilst in a good mood is always wise, correct approach. And as you said, taking it well, using humor is best in dealing with things. And one of the secret success of my 6 years of marriage. Bang on. My man.
Thank you. See, when James reads for me because I have dyslexia. Okay. Thank you guys for all of the comments. I'm trying to go up just to see if I can pull something. If not, I'm going to ask one of my questions. Let's see. Oh, this one's good. Row B, question to your husband. What are your thoughts about feminism?
Oh my gosh. Well, from what I know about feminism, when it initially started, right, it was about fighting for equal rights for women, right? Hold on. I'm one of these, right? I'm going to look up the definition of feminism really quickly, okay? Feminism definition. The advocacy of women's rights on the basis of equality of the sexes. So what do I think about feminism and its definition? I agree. I think that women should have equal rights as men. I feel that women should have equal opportunities as men. I feel that women are just entitled to the same opportunities that men are entitled to. The outcome, however, not everyone's entitled to the same outcome, right? But as far as let me stay on track. As far as feminism, by definition, I agree with feminism.
Yeah, how they apply it nowadays as modern feminism, I don't agree with at all. But that's my channel.
Yeah, you say that for another time.
How Dan says, how do you guys handle inquisitive relatives?
People stay out of my business. No one inquires on anything. I know her family's a little bit more nosy, maybe less now, but they're the nosy ones. So you could answer that.
I don't think they're. My family is Brazilian, so we're just in your face all the time. But I think as of late it's been less. I think before it was definitely more, especially when they were trying to get to know you. It was definitely more. Thank you for the $5, Ulysses Smith. I'm not going to say your whole thing. Do you guys believe or ever think that a lot of people choose someone that they're not meant or made for, and that's why they're miserable, or accept what they really don't? What do you think about that?
Do you believe or ever think that a lot of people choose someone they're not meant or made for, and that's why they miserable or accept what they don't really want? Here's the thing, right? I think on the forefront of a lot of relationships, and I think it's almost like uh, like something chemical happening in the brain, right? Kind of, I'm gonna relate a lot of things to drug use, right? So you meet this woman, she's beautiful, right? You guys go eat dinner, amazing, right? Amazing, right? Jesse reference, if anyone knows about my boy Jesse. But and you fall, like, you're tricked emotionally about that feeling, right? You got a good feeling and you're pursuing the feeling as opposed to pursuing the person and actually getting to know the person, right? Feelings are fickle. There are days that I do not like my wife. I'm going to say that again. There are days when I do not like my wife. I always love my wife, but there are days. Okay? So, right? But throughout my vetting process, right? Throughout my getting to learn Rebecca, right? I've grown to love her, right? And so to answer your question, I don't think men take the time to really get to know the person, right? They have codependency issues. Maybe they got mommy issues. Maybe they got daddy issues, right? And they're settling, right? They're like, yo, it's the best I could get, so I'm going to take her with all this crap, right? And instead of trying to, because everybody got crap. I got crap. My wife got crap. The neighbors down the hall got crap. People across the street got crap, right? Everybody got crap. But it's a matter of taking the time to work through that crap and kind of sift through it and see where the root of that stuff stems from, right? If people had the willingness to actually get to the root of why they're miserable, right? Oh, like, I know people that are like, yo, this person's crazy and that person's crazy and this person's crazy, right? Why everybody that meets you is crazy? Why everyone's crazy? Why everyone you meet is crazy? Everybody that you meet is crazy, right? Maybe you're the crazy one. Maybe it's you, Tommy, right? Maybe it's you, buddy, right? So I think that's really it.
That's so true.
Hey, James, have you ever been looked down at by people?
Which one are you reading?
I think he was at it right there.
Right there, Maverick.
Has James ever been looked down at people by his own race because he's married a white woman? I don't think anyone's ever looked down at me, but there's been times where we're passing, like, me and my wife. First of all, my wife's Brazilian. She's just light skinned. Let me just say that. But she's not white. But there's been times, I think there's been several instances where like me and my wife are together and the women are giving my wife dirty looks. So like,
You're saying black women give me dirty looks, bad looks, or you're saying
like,
like
black chicks usually is, they usually give her the dirty look sometimes. Like, damn, it happens, bro.
He notices this more than I do.
But I don't think I've ever been looked down upon. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's like, sell out, you know what I'm saying? And it's really like, yo, at the end of the day, you love who you love. Like, I like country music, right? I listen to Chris Stapleton sometimes on my way to work, right? You like what you like, bro, right? You love who you love. You like who you like, right? It's not about this person is white, black, green, purple, right? Love who you love and love them well, man.
That's good, babe. Oh gosh. Okay. I think we have a 10 right here. Okay, this is so much easier than.
And also, as part of my last question, is it a reason why some people can't find the right person who are still single because the person they meant for was someone else? It's a lot. Why I ask all that? Listen, man.
And thank you for the $10. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Ulysses. Here's the thing, man. Because it's, and I'm not coming at you, but it sounds like there's some other stuff going on there. Here's the thing, man. The person that you think that you're supposed to be with may be with someone else, right? But that just means that they weren't meant to be with you, right? So, like, it's like one of those harsh truths, right? Like, oh, me and her are supposed to be together, but she's with Brad, right? Thinking that her and Brad are meant to be together. Like, that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what what you're asking there. I don't really know what you're asking, right? Some people may, like, I have a friend who thought that he was in a relationship with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna put him on blast, right? But in his mind, he really thought that he was in a relationship with someone, and he was calling me and confiding in me, and I'm like, yo, bro, it sounds like y'all not together, right? And he's like, nah, man, like, I love her and I want to marry her one day. And fast forward, he was in a relationship with her. She was never in a relationship with him, right? And it was very sad to see because he like created this whole thing in his mind, right? And it's deep. So, like, move on, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sometimes it's just like that person's not for you, and you just got to keep it pushing. You can't dwell on those things. I know it's hard. Let's see. Ulysses, thank you for the $2. Pete, please keep me and Catherine in your prayer, please. Absolutely, we will. Ra, thank you for the $20. Me and my girl are like the sun and the moon. I'm consistent as I can be every day. I'm fire and passion in everything that I do outside, and I just want to relax when I come home at night. She has a different personality or moon phase every day. I don't know much about astrology, but it sounds like you guys are very different, right?
Yo, this is what I'm gonna tell you, Rock. There's a book called The 5 Love Languages, right? Figure out what your love language is, figure out what her love language is, and you're gonna have to figure out how to speak each other's love languages to each other. That's what I'm gonna say about that, right? Rebecca and I have different love languages. Some days, just read that book, read it together, and then.
Yeah, that's good.
You didn't have any questions on your phone?
I do, but they're so good. And that's why they're here,
James, what do you plan on teaching your future daughter as a future father?
Thank you.
Woo!
Power Spine 2.
What do I plan on teaching? I have all these ideas of things that I want to teach my future daughter.
I mean, you're a soon-to-be daughter.
Yeah, right. But I don't know, man. Right? I'm hoping that I can lead by example. Right? I hope that I can just show her the way that I treat her mother, right? My wife. Um, Hopefully instill some values and morals in her, right? Um, I don't know. That's a loaded question, man. Like I have all these things that I think that I'm gonna teach her, but good question, man. Something for me to think about. Thank you, man. You're working my brain over there, man.
But he's so excited to. Once we found out we were having a girl, because I'll say this on the internet, I don't care. We really wanted a boy to start, like, our family. But when we found out that we were having a girl, it took a little bit of time for us to like wrap our heads around that. But when he finally came to that conclusion, like, hi, I'm having a girl, I'm going to be a girl dad, he's like in love with our daughter. I'm not going to say her name. He's in love with our daughter, and he already tells me, he's like, you know, she's going to be like my girl.
That's right, my gal.
My gal. Okay, I'll do one from Instagram. Let's see. Okay, this is from Catalina's classroom. When did you guys start having conversations about marriage, family, and future?
I think we start. If I remember correctly, right? Because like I said, I knew that I wanted to marry Rebecca right away, right? So we didn't have surface conversations in the beginning of our relationship, right? Like I was getting to the nit and grit of it, right? Like I was asking these questions like almost immediately, like, yo, you trying to get married? Like, how many kids do you want? What's your credit score? Right? I'm serious. Like, right? I started asking those serious questions almost immediately, right? Because I was at a point where I wanted to settle down, right? I was at a point where I wanted a family. I was at a point, right? Even though I was in no place to have one, that's what I wanted, right? So, Catalina, when did I start having those questions? We started having those conversations right away.
Yeah, and that's something that we hold very dear to our relationship, is we are very transparent people. We're transparent with ourselves, and then with other people that we communicate with. Even like here on the internet, right? I share a lot of, I wouldn't say personally, but it comes from a place of love, and I share things that I, find valuable to you guys. Like, I shared my testimony. We shared about saving sex for marriage after we were having sex. So
yeah, and on that, real quick on that thing, right? My wife didn't make me do that. Okay.
Oh yeah, because we get that question.
Because I get asked that a lot. Did your wife make you do that? You punk B, right? No, man. So you gotta remember, right? When I met my wife, I was already on my own individual spiritual journey, right? I was already wilding. I was already doing a lot of things. So it just happened to be, right? Even though I was upset that she, brought it up, right? It was I was at a point in my walk with Christ that it was like that's where I was at that point anyway, where that was the next thing that I had to give up. You understand? So whether it would have been with her, whether it was me not having sex with her or me just not having sex with whoever I was having sex with, like in my walk, that's the point that I was at, right? So I just want to clarify that.
And it was very hard.
It wasn't easy.
Like it was like a lot, and we went back and forth because like there was a period of time where like we slipped a lot after we've made those decisions, right, to not have sex before marriage.
Correct. But we didn't slip a lot. We slipped a couple times.
Yeah, because like obviously we have physical attraction to each other. Like,
Hey,
hi.
my wife is hot. Hello, somebody. Come
And
on,
my
let me see.
husband.
All right, moving on.
You're getting sick of these questions. Okay, we have 30 minutes left. So ask your questions because yeah, this is very difficult.
Just do that.
Okay. What is your favorite? This is from the Grand Cam. This is Cameron.
Oh.
What is your favorite activity to do together?
Our favorite activity to do together. I know this sounds like, I don't know. Like, I just enjoy being around my wife, right? Whether it's chilling and watching Money Heist half of season 5 in one sitting, or going for a walk in the park, right? I think it's really just being together and being able to have conversation without distraction, right?
Because that's my love language. My love language is quality time, uninterrupted.
Uninterrupted.
Yeah, uninterrupted.
She doesn't even know her own damn love language. You know what I'm saying?
What kind of guru am I? No, so my love language is quality time. His love language, on the other hand, you want to tell him what your love language is?
Yeah, I think it's words. It's like words of affirmation, physical touch, and gifts.
Oh, you're just going down the whole. There's only 5 love.
There's only 5, but those 3 are like always in rotation.
Yeah, that is true. But my number 1 is quality time. So when we are together, because James works a lot, like I'm so grateful that he is the provider of the family. Like, and I'm so grateful for that. But he works a lot. At his last job, he does sales. Like James can sell ketchup to a woman wearing white gloves. So he would work a lot, like overtime, all this other stuff. And he has a goal, like he has things in mind for him. So when we do spend quality time, it's not necessarily a lot of time, right? But like this to us right now is quality time because we're answering and we're talking.
She kind of hit me with the okie doke on this one. I was like in the middle of trying to get a sale. She's like, "Yo, hop on my live." I was just like, "Yeah, whatever." And then I realized why I said
But we like going to dinner too. We schedule, like we try to have a couple date nights.
Yeah, we do date night at least once a week.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's Drake. So many people. How many times have you gotten that you look like Drake?
Never.
Shut up. All the time. Kelvin, what was it about Rebecca that made you confident that she was the right girl to settle down with? Ooh, that's a good one.
Kelvin, cool. What was it about Rebecca that made you confident she's the right girl to settle down with? Yo, to be honest, Kelvin, she accepted me for who I was. And you got to remember, when I met my wife, I wasn't at the lowest point in my life, but like I was at like pretty close to the bottom, right? Like I had nothing, I had no money, I literally had nothing. And this woman was still able to put her pride and her ego and everything aside to spend time with me, right? And that right there is what sold me, right? I'm like, yo, this woman is willing to be with me when I'm like this. this is the type of woman that I want to be with, right? Because when I have what I aspire to achieve, I know she's not going to switch up on me. You
Mhm.
understand? So she was literally with me when I had nothing. And that's when I was like, yo, this is a good girl right here.
And we grow together.
And we grow together.
Like Ruslan said, it's like the IKEA marriage, right? Like we going into marriage, it's not like we have like a lot of things now, but our life, like we recall a lot of the things that used to happen when we first met. Like
Yo, I used to hop the train to go see my wife, bro. Like I had no money. Like I don't know if you're familiar with the NYC train system. I used to literally hop the train, like not pay my fare, risk being arrested to go see her. Right? Yo, we would date. We would go on a date. We would go walk around Central Park. I would walk her to her train station. I didn't want her to know that I didn't have money to hop on the train. So I would walk her to her train station, be like, yo, I got to go do something real quick. I would walk like 15 blocks to the next train station to hop the train over there to go back to my shelter. All right, to go back. So, yeah, that's why.
But the come up though, your come up has, I feel like you should write a book about.
Nah, this is literally God's grace on my life, son. I don't have anything to do with this. This is if I could say anything, is that God is amazing, right? God could change lives, right? God will if you surrender to God, right? He will change your life. He will change your life. So that's my declaration. I had to sneak that in there at some point. That was the perfect opportunity. Yo, God will change your life if you submit to him, bro.
Facts.
And women.
And women.
Right?
Michael, as a protector, how do you handle negative comments from people about your wife?
This is true. You know what I told my wife? I said, yo, there's people that write on Beyonce's Instagram that she's the worst singer ever. So everybody's always gonna have something to say about something, right? Everybody's always there's gonna be somebody in there that got something to say about me, right?
Yeah.
And what I'm gonna say is thank you for the view.
That is true. Like there's days where the comments sometimes get to me, but he actually goes through he goes through some of my stuff because he wants to protect me, but he doesn't you don't do it to you just do it because you like to watch my videos. Like he is my biggest supporter in this whole journey of YouTube. Like he watches all my videos.
I critique him.
He critiques them, which is good because it's all for.
But I critique them constructively.
Yeah,
I'm not just being I'm not just talking crazy to my wife, right?
Yeah, there's some people out here that just say some wild things to me.
Facts, Ty. Yo, Ty said it. That 280 hit different when you ain't got it. That's facts. That's a fact. Yeah. It's like $3 now, bro.
$3, yeah.
For one trip.
I got a question. Rebecca, what was Rebecca attracted to in James? I think it goes back to transparency. Like James, I dated my fair share of guys in New York.
Oh, damn.
You know that.
Ouch. I didn't know that.
Yeah, come on, man. No.
Fair share.
No.
All right. Fair share. Good.
No, but I dated
She dated before me. Go ahead.
I dated before him, right?
Drop my water.
I dated before him, so I see it here in the comments all the time, right? Like, oh, we gotta spit the game, like on the rotation, all that stuff. Like, I dealt with a lot of the same issues you guys deal with. Like, he dealt with them too, right? you go on these Bumble dates, whatever. He was the first person to like be real, raw, and honest with me. And it was so refreshing. It was so refreshing. And then on top of it, like his looks didn't hurt, right? Like we both, when we first met each other, I feel like we both were like immediately drawn to one another. And then once I got to know him more, I was like, yeah, he's like, I'm going to give this guy my number. I texted him. So,
Yeah,
like, I made the first move.
she did.
Not like that. You made the move all during the party.
Yeah, but you took my number first.
But you gave me.
Yeah, I was very firm. I said, take my number. Here, take it. Put it in your phone right now. Let me see you do it. All right, good. Now call me if you want to sometime, maybe.
And then the next day I texted him and we've been together ever since.
That's right.
That literally is it.
Next question.
Okay, wait. Aisa A, thank you for the $5. James, when you got on your grind to be the provider, did you have second thoughts on marriage? Like, I got money now, I want to travel the world now?
Leave that up.
Oh, sorry.
When you got on your grind to be that provider, did you have second thoughts on marriage? Like, there was a point during the engagement phase where I was like, yo, is this really something that I want to do? Right?
Mm-hmm. Do you want this still up?
No, you can take it down. So yeah, when we were engaged, there was a point where I was like, damn, is this really what I want to be doing? Is this really a good idea? Right? And I had to remember that, like, for me, it goes back to, like, it was almost like spiritual warfare, right? Because I knew that God was about to do something amazing in my life, right? The enemy was in her ear, the enemy was in my ear, like, yo, bro, like, look, you clean now, you got a couple $dollars now, you could go buy some Bitcoin, right? Like, why are you gonna pay for a wedding? You understand? And I had to pray about that, right? I had to pray about that. I had to speak to some other men about that. There's no shield. The Bible teaches us that there's safety in a multitude of counsel,
mm-hmm.
right? So I've learned that there should be 5 men in your life, right? If you're a Christian, right? But there should be 5 men in your life that you run things by, right? You run that same idea by those 5 men and, see what kind of answers you get. So I ran my feelings by 5 men, and they were all like, yo, that's normal, right? That's a part of the process, right? Keep doing what you're doing. You got, when I weighed the pros and cons of being married, it only made sense, right? And I'm in a position now where I can travel with my wife, right? So like we was just in Puerto Rico, like a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So of course, right? But my brain is twisted, bro. Like my brain comes up with a lot of funky ideas, right? My brain tells me that I could jump off the Golden Gate Bridge and land perfectly, right? But sometimes I got to tell myself, yo, that's not a good idea, right? So not all thoughts, not all beliefs are true, right? Everyone has to determine for themselves what they think is the best.
And I think too, like one of the biggest takeaways I think in your life is that you surrounded yourself around men who live that life.
Yeah, it's very important to be around like-minded men.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like you.
If you want to get married.
Yeah. So recently I got invited to go out, right? Please. Right? Recently I got invited to go out, right? And for a second, I was entertaining the thought of going out. Now, when I say go out, I mean like go to a club. I don't got no damn business in no club. I don't drink. I got a wife. What am I going to go to the club for? Now, like a couple of weeks before that, I went to Top Golf with a bunch of dudes who don't drink and are married. And let me tell you something, we had mad fun. Okay? That's it. And right, yo, he's a cornball. This nigga goes play top golf. Blah, blah. Absolutely, I go play top golf. There's no shame in my game. I went to go play top golf with a couple of my friends. Some were married. Nobody drank, right? It was a good time. I came home and hit my wife with the praying mantis when I got home. Right? My marriage was safe going to play top golf.
That was good. That was good, man. Thank you, Nasir, for that's Saudi money. Behind a great man is a great woman. I was in, oh my gosh.
I was in deficit when I asked my wife's hand in marriage. Once the will and good, genuine intentions are there, the Lord opens up doors that were impossible to open. Exactly.
Amen.
You get it.
Wait, Harrison Family Vlogs is in here. Let's read.
No question, just a comment. Keep inspiring Christian couples to love God and love each other. My brother.
Yeah.
Salute to you, Harrison Family Vlogs. I'm a subscriber, by the way. My man, yo, if you don't know my man Harrison Family Vlogs, go check him out.
Yeah, I did an interview.
My wife did an interview with him, but she was like, "Hey, some guy Harrison." I was like, "Do it, do it, do it." He's official.
Yeah, you're definitely official. That was a really good interview. Just if you guys, I'll link it here in the description down below. That
I feel like that's like a real man, right?
Yeah,
that's like a real life person. Mm-hmm. There's no, you're not getting
married,
any facade.
Children, like
correct, right? So salute to you, man.
All right, let's see. And we have only like what, you have to leave at 6:30.
We could
we're gonna wrap it up.
I gotta. It takes me like 10 minutes to get there, so
okay.
I could push it to like 6:45.
Okay. Bill, I don't know how to say.
Rebecca talks often about the premarital counseling you did, James. Were you resistant to that? Nope.
Actually, you were the one who suggested that we do that.
So so she doesn't talk about that part, but I was actually the one who said that we need to do premarital counseling. So
and
we did it with my pastor, right? So I told my wife, I said, "Yo, we're doing premarital counseling with Pastor Gus," and she was like, "Absolutely not." Pastor Gus called her and was like, "Yo, I think James is a bozo." She was like, "Let's do it with Pastor Gus."
But he was tough on both of us.
No, he was super tough. He was super like, he definitely challenged me as a man. He definitely challenged us both, but he definitely challenged me. And there were times where I was very emotional in premarital counseling. Anybody really considering getting married, man, marriage happens after the wedding. Let me repeat that. Marriage happens after the wedding, right? Again, marriage happens after the wedding. So I don't know who needed to hear that, but I just said it 3 times for you. So I would encourage anyone who's considering getting married. And just because you go to premarital counseling I think I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. Just because you're in premarital counseling doesn't mean that there's something wrong with your relationship.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you, and it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with your partner, right? What premarital counseling is designed to do, another side note, I highly recommend that if you are going to do it, premarital counseling, that one, you do it with a man, right? I would also, I know not everyone's Christian, but and I want to be respectful of the non-believers or whatever, but I also want the non-believers to be respectful of me as well. So I would find somebody in your church, like a pastor, who's equipped to to handle during premarital counseling with you. If you're in the synagogue, a rabbi, I don't know what the terms are for other places of worship, but I would definitely try to find an elder in your place of worship to guide you through the premarital process. So that way, because you got to remember, right, marriage is a spiritual, right? That's a God-given thing, man. Like God gave you marriage. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I would encourage you, and I think that's like a universal teaching to that, God, marriage is a gift from God, but definitely find somebody in your church or your place of worship to help you with that.
That's good, babe. Well, I guess this kind of answers that. Whose idea was it to start couples therapy before marriage? Was there any pushback? No, there was no pushback.
Answer that.
I didn't know if we answered that one. Um,
Any more on the phone?
hold on.
Should I get married in the future? I'm doing premarital counseling. I only found out what that was after finding this channel.
Oh, that's good.
Should I get married in the future? I'm doing premarital counseling. I only found out what that was after finding the channel. Yes. Well, sorry. I just said yes just to say yes. You have to decide whether or not, and this is for Power Spy 2, or I think that's how you say it. I encourage marriage, right? I encourage relationships, right? Only you can determine whether or not that's good for you. I think that if you're going to be in relationships, that should be the ultimate goal, right? Not just breaking back, right? A man, somebody said, right? A man is not determined by how many backs he breaks, but how many times he breaks that one back. Right?
You wild right now. Oh. What's the hardest part of marriage?
My wife doesn't let me sleep.
Sleeping is very hard. Sleeping is very hard for us.
I'm like a wild sleeper. I do gymnastics in my sleep.
Gymnastics.
So I move a lot. That's literally been the hardest part, man.
Literally,
her not letting me live my best life in my sleep.
We have a king size bed, and we actually have this issue so often. We have a king size bed, and the man likes to sleep in the center of the bed, of the king size bed. Meanwhile, I have a pillow fortress around me because I'm trying to sleep on my side now for the baby. And we have this like little debacle every night. Like, are you gonna sleep okay? Like, or are you gonna be on top of me? Like, not praying mantis stuff, but like, are you gonna be on top of me by the time I wake up? Like this, we have this issue a lot. Sleeping. That is our number one.
It's like our biggest issue right now.
Yeah. So. And I'm getting more uncomfortable as I get bigger, like as I get more pregnant. So it's just very hard to sleep in general. But this guy, when he falls asleep, like you literally can run a chainsaw. Like a hurricane can happen, the roof can be taken off of the place, and he will have no idea what's going on. He's a heavy sleeper. Okay, we have 5 minutes left, and
no, we can go to 6:45.
We can go to 6:45.
Yeah.
Oh, I got your blessing on that. Yay. Okay. Did you both always know you wanted to be married eventually when you were younger? You asked that. You answer that first.
When I was younger, I wanted to be married, but with everything that I've been through, I thought that was off the table for me. But in the back of my mind, it's something that I always wanted.
And for me, I wanted to get married, I think I figured that out later on in life. I knew I wanted that as when I was a young girl. And then when I saw what happened with my own family, I had second thoughts. And then when I met him specifically, I was like, yeah, I'm marrying this man. And I knew also that I wanted kids with him immediately. Didn't know how that was going to work, but definitely wanted kids with him. Okay. We got a question about prenups. You want to answer that?
Where is it?
It's in here, and I got some over here too. What do you guys believe in prenups?
Short answer, no. Right? Here's the thing.
Here.
If you think that you need to have a prenup, then you don't need to get married.
He said it, not me.
Right? If you think that there needs to be a prenuptial agreement, right? Somebody told me this: when in doubt, go without. It'll save you mad trouble, right? So if you think that there needs to be an absolute need for a prenup, you don't need to be married. It's like point blank, period. Like,
we actually did talk about it.
Yeah, it came up in premarital counseling, right? And the only reason it came up was because my wife had a business, right? So the only reason that I was asking about a prenup is because I was trying to protect her business, right? And I had friends who own businesses. I have friends who are they are what Kevin Samuels would consider a high value man, right? And they don't have prenuptial agreements. And they've been, one in particular, he's been with his wife over 20 years. No issues that would even lead to divorce, right? Regular marriage issues, but no issues I don't even like saying that word, but and I'm not speaking illy of anyone here, but if you feel that you need a prenuptial agreement, then you don't need to get married, bro.
And that's also what our counselor said too. You want to read this one?
To Rebecca and James, a lot of women divorce their husband because they said their marriage got boring. Are the boring days the best days, or are you guys always looking for excitement? No, my wife and I just had a talk because she said that lately I have been having sex with her. I've been mad tired, son. She's pregnant, right?
I didn't know you were gonna say that, but that's
we had a whole
awesome.
conversation about how I've been having sex with my wife lately. I broke her back yesterday, but it happens, bro. But it's not for grounds for divorce. You get to the root. That's why I say, get to the root of the problem. Talk about the problem, not the surface stuff, right? You get to it, you talk about it, and you make the necessary adjustments, man.
Yeah, it's not, listen, everyone thinks that marriage is like a fairy tale and like a romance novel. Like our days are mostly boring. Like, and I learned to set my expectations, or I wouldn't say expectations, because expectations are premeditated resentments. But like, I'm very realistic now. Before, I wasn't very realistic. Now I'm like, this is what it is. We live life. Like, I do this. He works all day long. Like, he comes home and he's beat. And I know that. But I'm also mad horny because of the pregnancy. And so that has been brought up. But that's the thing, is like, not every day is going to be exciting. Not every month, not every year of your marriage is going to be so exciting. Like,
correct.
We've gone through so much this year. And the fact that we, went through getting married, pushing back our honeymoon for like 9 months, right? 9 months. We took our honeymoon.
Well, we couldn't.
Yeah.
Because of the pandemic.
and because of my dad and all this.
Her dad passed away.
So there was we've been dealing with life on life's terms, and it's a lot. Like, marriage is not easy, and it's not always exciting, but it's the fact that I get to live my life with him. I'm very happy about that.
Guys, you know, we'll do like a every 3-year check-in, you know, for the people that are rooting against us. Give you some to fuck it. I mean, just give you some. Sorry, excuse my language.
It's getting fired up. Have you ever heard of Roma Army? Yes.
No.
That's that girl I showed you.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I've heard of her. No comment. I don't know why I brought that hormones word. Yes, this is very raw and real here. Okay,
Go back to the Instagram ones.
Okay.
Because you keep forgetting those people. They took the time to.
That is true.
To message you.
Oh, I like McTowell a lot. Hold on. Okay. Franco Riva Splata. What are your future plans? I was like, future plans with what?
Yeah, I hope my future plan is to go to sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow morning. Like,
I know, but what are you like? How many kids do we want, or how many kids do you think have we talked about?
3, 5.
Yeah.
I don't like that question. It was too generic.
I know.
James, what is a high value man to me? High value man to me is somebody that takes care of his family, that takes care of his responsibilities. That's it.
Yeah. I think that term gets overused, and everyone wants to be a high value man, but they really don't understand what it actually means.
Let's look up the definition of value.
Steve says, do you know Suzanne Banker? I do know who she is. I really respect her work. I've reached out to her. Hopefully her team gets back to me soon. Do you have the definition?
Yeah, there's several. The regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, right? So when you use value as a noun, only somebody else can tell you whether or not you're of high value or not, right? It's the regard of something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. I can't determine whether or not I'm of high value. You might put me next to Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is of no value to my wife. I have higher value to my wife than Elon Musk does. You know what I mean? So
that was good, babe. Let's see. Yeah, that term is definitely overused. Adris, Yancy, did either of you go to college? I went to college. And James?
I went to a couple colleges, never finished. I went to Grambling State University. That's a HBCU down in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
I left there. I went to film school. I went to Art Institute in New York. As I was in film school, I worked in the film industry for a little bit, working on like music videos and stuff like that. So I dropped out of school again, and I went to community college for like a semester. I've never been. It was great. I was telling this to my wife the other day, right? As a child, I got awards from. I received an award from Bill Clinton for being mad smart, right? As a child, maybe a bunch of kids got it. I don't know, right? And in high school, I only took finals, tests, and midterms. I never did any work. I did just enough. Somebody said, "Yo, C's get degrees, my brother." Right? And I bought into that, right? So I would like they used to think that I was cheating, right? Because I wouldn't do homework, I wouldn't participate, but then I would take a test and pass the test, right? And I would take my final, I would pass my final. I would take my midterm, pass my midterms, right? But I never did homework. I did just enough, right? So, but like, I don't know if you were getting to whether or not college is important.
I think you were just asking a question.
Yeah, but sales is the only job where you can make the kind of money I make without a degree.
Yeah. And he's very, very good at sales.
Yeah.
And my college degree basically went into the dumpster. So, okay. James.
Donna, I love you, Donna. Donna.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Donna. How are you? Okay. Got a couple more. And then we gotta jump. Let's go jump.
About to go jump.
Let's see. We have a set timeline for marriage and children. Shanae asked that. No. Well, we dated for a year. We were engaged for a year before we got married.
The only time we set a timeline was, well, I wouldn't even set a timeline, but when I asked her father if I could marry her, he said yes, but you have to stay engaged for 1 year.
Yeah.
So that was the only, and then my pastor, who had no idea that her father said that we have to go through 1 year of premarital counseling. So that's the only timeline that was ever set. Everything else was like, yo, it'll happen when it happens.
Yeah, and then with kids, for some reason, I don't know, we were just like, let's just.
We weren't not trying.
We were not trying.
Yeah, we weren't not trying to have kids.
But
some with me in high school never did homework. I did participate, but I retained everything I learned in class. Never studied for a single test. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the same. You guys are cut from the same cloth over here. Meanwhile, I studied my literal butt off, but I also did engineering.
I'm not answering that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. This one. You want to answer that?
James, how long did it take for you to get used to saying my wife? I got married at 21, and it felt weird for at least 2 years to say my wife. Yeah, I was proud to say my wife. So I was calling her my wife before that was my wife.
Yeah, he was programmed to my phone as hubby before he was.
Yeah, I was excited. I was excited to be like, yo, that's my wife. So. No.
What?
Watching from Trinidad and Tobago. Keep doing what you're doing. You got 8 young men looking at you. All that. Yo, send me some peanut punch, right? Send me some sea moss, right? Send me some, bro. Catalyst Productions, bro. Shout out to y'all in Trinidad and Tobago. All my friends are from the island, Jamaica, Ghana.
Oh my gosh. What's your favorite food?
Curry goat.
I literally, when he told me that was his favorite food, I was like, I've never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, curry goat to change your life.
Curry goat. He loves curry goat. Yo, watch yourself in the comments here.
What's that? Trinidad.
Okay, guys. I think we're gonna.
What's that last one? I'm getting resistance. I'm getting resistance from my husband for counseling. When we got married, I gave up working, friends, and all social media. How can I talk to him into counseling without sounding demanding or bossy?
That's loaded.
So what I would encourage you to do, I mean, yeah, that's hit my wife up, individually. Hit her up. She'll walk you through that process.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely need more context there because there sounds like.
Yeah, just
Sorry.
hit my wife up
Yeah.
individually. There's no more Instagram questions. None.
Not that I want to pull from.
Any?
Oh, we got a super chat. The UK Economist. Thank you for the £5. Great stream. Question for James. What do you think helped your wife make the change to become more traditional and non-feminist? Best wishes from England.
Shout out to you across the pond. I got a lot of friends across the pond too. I got a lot of friends in a lot of places, man.
Yeah, he does.
What do I think helped my wife change to become more traditional, not feminism? That was a decision she had to make on her own, man.
I mean, I can answer that.
Yeah, she can. Yeah.
So one, I was already in the transition from being feminist to non-feminist. But what kind of sealed the deal was going through premarital counseling, and we've been talking about premarital counseling this whole time. But our pastor and counselor, Pastor Gus, he sat me down and was like, "You're gonna lose James if you keep acting like this, like if you keep acting a fool." And I didn't want that, right? I wanted to marry him. Obviously, we're married now, so I had to make a change. We both had things that we had to work on. It wasn't just I was this way. He also came with his own stuff too. So we had to put in a lot of work individually. So I was learning what it meant to be a good wife. In the biblical sense, right? Ephesians 5, wife. I wanted to be that woman. And he also was learning what it took to be a husband. But feminism wasn't working for me. I don't think it works for a lot of women. And I was a very angry person in that time of my life.
Yeah, she used to have real bad Tourette's.
And when we met, I was still coming off of like that. Like I was on the.
Yeah, I had to put her through detox from that crap.
He trained me. It's true. Okay. Thank you, V. Liam. I don't know what currency that
James,
is.
small donut for you to buy plain sugar donut. I'm not sure how to take that, but thank you.
We love donuts. I like donuts.
I don't even.
I'm
sure there's some smart ass undertone in that.
Probably.
But my man, thank you.
Okay, you want to answer one last question, and then we gotta jump. Which one? That's kind of cool.
All right, nomadics. Do you guys think marriage is a requirement if you've been in a long-term relationship? I don't think it's for me, but my girlfriend is pushing for it. I don't believe it validates true love. Y'all got to figure that out together, man. Like, so, here's the thing, right? There's so many men that are giving all this advice. Like, right? There's so many men that are giving all this advice all over YouTube and whatever, right? And you gotta determine where you're gonna take your advice from, right? So like I live by this thing, eat the meat, spit out the bones, right? Everything is not for everybody, right? Not all information is good information, right? If you're living by the world and you just want to do your thing and get busy and continue in that mess that you got going on over there, by all means, continue to live that life, right? my encouragement though is that if you're in a relationship and you're doing a long-term relationship, what is the ultimate goal of that relationship, right? Is the ultimate goal marriage, or is the ultimate goal for this woman to help you pay your mortgage, right? And then you kick her to the curb, right? You got to figure out what your ultimate goal is, right? I don't know how old you are. I don't know how young you are, right? I know women can be pushy with marriage, right? I know that. I've seen that, right? But don't get married because she wants you to get married either, right? It's something that you both have to decide. But I don't. What you gotta figure out, what am I working towards here? What's the end goal here?
Yeah, I also agree with that. And to that point too, I will say, um, communication is one of the most important things in a relationship, right? It can make or break a relationship. So if you have expressed to your girlfriend that you don't want marriage, and upfront, like if that was an upfront conversation, then I think it's time for you guys. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but to me, that sounds like that's not going to be a long lasting relationship because y'all are on two different pages.
Yeah, especially if you told her already.
Yeah. So if you told her and she said, okay, well, I'm still staying here,
She's gonna do the "I think I can change him" game.
and that does not work.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a conversation there. But
hold on, because somebody just sent money
I know
right before we signed off. So look, this is gonna be the last two because I really got to run.
he really has to go.
But I'm trying to honor you guys here.
Thank you for the $10,
Julian. A woman I was seeing for 2 months started being rude to me, snapping, swearing. I told her to stop, and she backed down, but continued later that week. So I dumped her a few days later. Thoughts? My wife used to curse at me. She used to swear at me. She used to do all the above. I said, yo, do I curse at you? Do I swear at you? Do I call you out of your name? Right? If you're going to talk to me, you're going to talk to me with respect. Right? She hasn't cursed at me in almost 3 years. So I don't think it's you. I don't, I'm not sure where the question was. I'm not sure. My thoughts is, you didn't have to dump her, right? Y'all could have worked through that. It's only been a week. It takes about 90 days to form a habit. Hopefully, I don't know how long ago this was, but if she was a good woman, maybe reach back out to her and see if you could give it another shot without the cussing. Next question. AJ to God. Take your wife to Antigua, the best pyramid island you could go to, and respect King, because nothing in life better than a good wife. Yo, facts. Everybody, God bless you guys. This actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, right? Maybe we'll do this again sometime, And thank you for having me. Thank you for being super respectful in the chats. Thank you guys for all the support that you were giving my wife. It means a lot to both of us. And
make sure
for all the creeps out there, if you want to find me on Instagram, if there's something that you need to ask me, I'm sure you've already found me somehow. But if you want to reach out to me, I won't take it personally. Message me on Instagram. I'll be, if I get the message, I'll be more than happy to, respond to you and help you with whatever it is that I can help you with. But I'm no guru, right? I'm just somebody that submitted to Christ, and He changed my life. I don't have the answers, Sway. I don't have all the answers, Sway, right? But it is what it is, right? I could share my experience, strength, and hope with you, and you do with that what you will. But it's been real. God bless you guys. We out.
Thank you guys so much. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for all your support with the super chats. You guys have been awesome. He's gonna get more candy, and we out here, guys. Bye.
I got the sugar.
Bye.